Hello, everybody. I hope you are enjoying the weekend so far. Found three short murder mystery books on my shelf that I could potentially finish for this video. So I hope anyway. Not that fast of a reader, so I don't expect to get through that many books. The first one is called The Butcher and the Wren. This is by Elena Urquhart. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but she's one of the co-hosts of the podcast Morbid, and I really like that podcast. They talk about old cases, and it's very interesting. So I'll read you the inside. A methodical serial killer with a penchant for medical experimentation is hard at work completing his most harrowing crime yet, taunting the authorities who desperately try to catch up. But forensic pathologist Dr. Wren Muller is the best there is. Armed with an encyclopedic knowledge of historical crimes and years of experience working in the medical examiner's office, she's never encountered a case she couldn't solve, until now. So, yeah, it goes on, but I don't want to give anything away, but it's a very short book, so that's going to be number one. And this is one that I got at the last bookstore I went to, the local bookie in town, which is the used bookstore, and it's called The Poe Shadow by Matthew Pearl. At least I can say his name. So the back says, Baltimore, 1849. The body of Edgar Allan Poe has been buried in an unmarked grave. Quentin Clark is a young lawyer and ardent admirer of Poe's who puts his own career and reputation at risk in a crusade to find out the truth behind the writer's death. After discovering that accounts of Poe's last days are riddled with unanswered questions the police are ignoring, Quentin finds himself enmeshed in sinister machinations involving international political agents, a female assassin, and the corrupt Baltimore slave trade. In order to unchain his now imperiled fate from Poe's, Quentin must turn master investigator. So this one sounds really fun. And this is a series I've been reading. It's a Victorian mystery series, and I've been really enjoying it. This is book number 4, Dangerous Collaboration. It's a Veronica Speedwell mystery by Deanna Rayburn. So I've been really enjoying this. I can read you the back with this book number 4, so keep that in mind. Lured by the promise of a rare and elusive butterfly, Veronica Speedwell is persuaded by Lord Templeton Vane, her colleague Stoker's brother, to pose as his fiancée at a house party on a remote Cornish isle owned by his oldest friend, Malcolm Romilly. But one question hangs over the party. What happened to Rosamond? 3 years ago, Malcolm's bride vanished on their wedding day. Now those who were closest to her have gathered, each a possible suspect in her disappearance. From the poison garden kept by Malcolm's sister to the high towers of the family castle, the island's atmosphere is full of shadows and danger lurks around every corner. Determined to discover Rosamond's fate, Veronica and Stoker match wits with a murderer who has already struck once and will not hesitate to kill again. So, that is book number 4. Yeah, so those are the 3 books I hope to get through this week. Let's get to reading. Hello everybody, I hope you enjoyed this week's reading vlog. I am in New York City currently. Yeah, I went to New Jersey to do an Irish music competition. If you don't know, I'm also an Irish musician and that is my main job. So yeah, that was my first time doing the FLA though, so that was really intense and interesting. I got second place for singing in Irish and third place for Irish flute. Everybody was so good and they were all really young kids for the most part, and I feel like I started too late with Irish music. I was very jealous of all those kids who started when they were younger than 10. I started Irish music in college, so I finished a few books for reading mysteries. I realized I was doing a theme by accident. I ended up reading mysteries for a week. I tried to do the 24 hours of reading, but that turned into a weekly video anyway because I kept getting interrupted. So I finished The Butcher and the Wren first. That was the shortest book on my list. I got very frustrated by that book because first of all, we already knew who the killer was, and I don't like knowing who the killer is in mysteries. Like, I want to be able to guess who it is, but we have the perspective from the killer already in the book, and the ending really annoyed me. I won't say why because it will spoil it. But yeah, I really wanted to like that book because I like the Morbid podcast a lot, but did not enjoy it that much, unfortunately. And I finished my audiobook that I was already listening to called A Flicker in the Dark, and that one I actually really liked. I still guessed who it was, but that definitely had a lot of it definitely had more twists and turns in it, which I like. And also that audiobook was very good. I like the narrator a lot. And then I read A Dangerous Collaboration, which is part of that Victorian England series, mystery series about a lepidopterist. It's hard to say that word. But she catches butterflies and knows all about butterflies, and that's part of the story. I really like that series, and I like that book as well, which also happened to be on an island. That made it kind of creepy. And then I listened to The Guest List on the way down to New York and on the way to New Jersey. Yeah, I also really like that audiobook too. It had different voice actors for each character, which made it very immersive, and I liked that a lot. And I did not guess who it was. I usually guess like halfway through and then I get annoyed that I guessed correctly, but yeah, I guessed wrong on that one. And it reminded me a lot about Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. But yeah, now I really want to go to an island because I realize an island was a big theme in the books I read, and I started reading the Poe Shadow, but I haven't finished that at all. So I've just been so busy. Saturday was really busy. I competed twice that day, so you can hear it in my voice. My allergies are so bad. But yeah, I'm wasted after that. So tonight we get to go to Broadway, which is so fun. But yeah, the next vlog will be about New York, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, bye for now.